Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Instead of going on and me talking about the coronavirus situation with Motherwell having another game off against St Mirren today, we had the last game, against Kilmarnock postponed as well. I'm going to go and talk a bit about the Old Firm game today, but I will touch on the Motherwell situation just before we get into that. I think that the people higher up at the SFA and the SPFL need to get something in place, because this is going to affect clubs for the rest of the season. I mean, this could strike any club at any time, and as St Mirren fans know, it's happened to them twice this season already. Once that they had to play, and today they didn't. And for us it's really concerning, because we'll go into a game next week against Ross County with having not played in 3 weeks, apart from the players that were on international duty. And I just wonder how much that's going to affect us in terms of match fitness going into the game next week. But I suppose there's nothing we can do, and the SFA are investigating it, so we'll find out whether we get the 3 points or the match is rescheduled. But that's not why I'm making this video today. I'm going to talk about the big one, the Old Firm derby, the one that everybody I'm sure in the country was watching. But no, Celtic made a couple of changes, well, more than a couple that were enforced. Klamala came in, you had Welsh in there as well, and Cham and Laxalt for his debut, and Rangers went with Barker, Kamara and Davis in the midfield, with Arfield and Kent out wide. Morelos up front, and pretty much the same back four with McGregor in goals. And the game started really quite frantically. It was quite end to end at the beginning. McGregor got to the byline, he cut one back, that was cleared, and then Rangers went right up the other end. Kent slipped the ball to Morelos, and his cross found Barisic at the back post, but his shot went over the bar. And it was on about 8 minutes. Rangers get a free kick. Tavernier whips it in, great delivery, and Goldson heads me on Barkas. Now, if you're a Celtic supporter here, you're asking, one, where are your 3 commanding centre halves that are supposed to be able to defend for set pieces? And 2, could Barkas not have done better, because it was fairly in the middle and fairly close to him. I know it was before him, but he did get a slight touch to it. But for a £5 million goalkeeper, you are expecting him to get a stronger hand on that, and Celtic find themselves 1-0 down. And then they kind of started to come into the game a wee bit after that. I thought the game was fairly even up to that point, even though Rangers scored. They had the ball clipped over the top from Duffy, and Goldson basically fails to clear it, and El Yunusi finds himself through on goal, but he chips it over the bar, and it stays 1-0. And see, to be honest with you, from that point, that was about really all Celtic done in the first half. I mean, it was evident right from the beginning that they were missing their 2 strikers up top. I said that to my dad about 15 minutes into the game, that Klamala and El Yunusi, they weren't linking up with the midfield, they weren't holding the ball up well enough, and Rangers midfield 3 were just totally dominating the match. There was no urgency from Celtic's midfield. They didn't seem to want to move the ball forward at any tempo, or causing the Rangers back 4 problems. And at half time you're thinking, right, they're going to change this, because it's as comfortable a first half performance that I've seen from a Rangers side going to Celtic Park in a long time. But that never materialised. I thought that Neil Lennon would have made a few changes at half time, because I think I could see that it wasn't working for Celtic, and I'm sure any Celtic fan could see. They were just playing these long diagonal balls up towards, majority of the time, El Yunusi, and trying to clip it to Frimpong and Laxalt in the wings, who they could never really get into the game, because Rangers midfield were tracking back so well in Arfield and Kent, and doubling back on them and making sure that they couldn't get into the game. I mean, you've seen it with Frimpong, how dangerous he could have been in Europe, where he beats people when he gets crosses into the box and he makes things happen, but he wasn't allowed to do that at any point today. And Laxalt, it was his first game since July, so he played his first game of football in 3 months, and He looked energetic as a new signing, but again, there was no real quality coming from him in terms of delivery or finding anyone in the box, whether that was because Celtic only had one natural striker on the pitch in Klimala, and they were missing Edward. I don't know, they just never seemed to have that cutting edge going forward. And in the second half, no changes, as I say, and it's Rangers again. They get the goal, it comes in from our field, and the defence sort of fail to clear it, and Goldson just pokes it through Duffy's legs, and Rangers are 2-0 up. But there's still 35 minutes of the game to go. You're expecting a reaction. It doesn't come. I'm waiting, and I say, turn to my dad and I say, alright, you put on a jetty, but a jetty's not the kind of player that's going to run in behind for Celtic or cause them any problems and stretch the Rangers' defence. I said he needs to put Griffiths on because he's the only one that's going to really be able to run in behind and, as I say, make stuff happen. And that was where Celtic's only chance really came. In the second half, it was a ball through from Ayer and Griffiths round McGregor, and his first touch takes him so wide, and he kind of tries to put that across to a jetty, but he sort of scarfs it. I think he was in two minds whether to shoot or whether to hit it. But at the end they done neither, and McGregor just kind of caught it, and that was the end of that. But I know much to report on in terms of second half, but I have to say, I know I've spoke a lot about Celtic. If you're a Rangers fan watching this and watching the game today, you must be buzzing, because last season he's looked, I wouldn't say frail defensively, but you can definitely be got at. And I think since he's brought Hollander and Goldson into and managed to get that partnership at the back, if you like, it's been shown. He's only conceded 3 league goals all season. He's looked really dangerous going forward, and I thought today that Kent and Arfield, they were terrific, and Davis' experience just showed he completely bossed the middle of the park. So yeah, real confidence boost of your Rangers. You're hoping that your team can carry this into the rest of the season going forward. I would feel pretty confident about your chances of winning the league this season. But then again, can we read too much into it? Because Celtic have had Edward, Elhamed, Christie and Forrest all out today due to this coronavirus pandemic. And I know that some Celtic fans have come out online and said that was a reserve team that were playing. It wasn't a reserve team. Yes, he's were missing a lot of your important first team players, but there was still over like £55 million worth of talent on that part when you look at what Laxal's went for in his career and the likes. So he still had enough quality, if we're talking money wise, on that pitch to challenge in that game today. And what I would be questioning if I was a Celtic supporter, does Neil Lennon have a plan B? Because as I said at the start of this video, the diagonals weren't working. I'm sure you watching it, you could see it wasn't working. There was nothing happening. Yet Neil Lennon waits till you go 2-0 down before he makes a change. So that's something that I would find pretty concerning, if I'm honest. That's supposed to be the biggest game of your season, playing against your rivals at home, and Rangers just looked a cut above. They didn't look troubled at all. They were so comfortable, as they have been in a lot of games this season. So my question to the Celtic fans in the comments is it, I know you've only lost, this is the only game you've lost in the league this season, but there's been a lot made of how poorly you've looked despite where you were, the position you were in before the game. Is it time for Neil Lennon to either mix it up, or if this continues, as he's caught on a shaky peg? Because where do you see Rangers conceding? Where do you see Rangers' next defeat coming from? That's what I would be asking. And what is Neil Lennon going to do to change it? There was no energy coming from the midfield. I still think that you play Callum McGregor too deep. You seen it in the first half. The only time that he's looked a bit threatening, okay, there was that ball over the top, but it was when McGregor was driving for midfield. He should be the one I think playing in that hole in the more advanced role, because you've seen it, he's got a shot on him, he can score goals. And when you are playing against lesser opposition, do you really need, and I know it was Rangers today, but I'm thinking of going forward, do you really need those two sitting there in games where you dominate the ball? And it could have been crying out even for a David Turnbull who could unlock a pass or whip a good ball into the box. So there was none of that coming for you at all today. It just wasn't good enough. But yeah, Rangers, be very, very confident of what you've seen, because that was absolutely terrific from you today. I was sitting watching it with a Rangers fan as well, and they were saying, oh, by the way, it was my mum, she probably won't like me saying that, but she was kind of worried when Rangers went, even when Rangers were 2-0 up, and I was saying, Celtic aren't going anywhere here. You've got nothing to worry about. But let's see what happens the rest of the season. Let me know what you think you can expect for the rest of the season. And I just wanted to get a wee video out, as I say, guys, because I was looking forward to doing my Motherwell match recap, and I was planning on touching on the Old Firm game anyway, since it is such a big game. I love derbies, and I'm going to be doing more on it for the Edinburgh derby and stuff as well, for the Scottish Cup, because I do love, as I say, watching derby matches. So there will be a match recap coming up for Hibs and Hearts fans, but no serious questions to be asked if you're Celtic, and if you're Rangers, you're asking for much more of the same. So let me know what you thought in the comments. And Motherwell fans, as I say, what are your opinions on this COVID situation? For us, I think something needs to be sorted for this in future, because this season could end up going on forever, because we never know when this is going to strike. It can happen at any point, so something needs to be put in place. But no, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I know it's a bit rushed, and it's a bit just trying to get it out there, but let me know anyway. Thanks again for joining me, and if you can, please like, share and subscribe.